Now let's just talk about the next question number 4, which says that a spiral is made up of the successive semicircles, as you can see over here, with the centers alternatively at A and B, starting with the center A of the radii 0.5 centimeter, then 1.0 centimeter, 1.5 centimeter, 2.0 centimeter, and so goes on. So it says, what is the total length of such a spiral which is made up of 13 consecutive semicircles? Means we just have to find out the sum of the 13 consecutive semicircles that are made over here, and we have to use the value of pi as 22/7. So let's just start with this one. So first of all, as we are talking about the length of the spiral, means we are talking about the perimeters. Obviously, if we are talking about the length of the spiral, so here we are talking about this length, and this length is definitely nothing but the perimeter or the circumference of this semicircle. So let's just talk about the perimeters or the circumference of the semicircles. As we know that the perimeter of a semicircle is nothing but pi r. We do know about this one. So let us suppose if I am starting with the very first circle having the radii as 0.5 centimeter. So if the radius is nothing but 0.5 centimeter, then the perimeter for the first semicircle, let us suppose if I am taking it as P1, the perimeter for the first semicircle, the perimeter of first semicircle would be nothing but is equal to pi r, and pi r means the value of r is nothing but 0.5, and we can write it as pi into 5/10, which is nothing but is equal to pi/2. So this is my first perimeter. Now let's just talk about the second perimeter. So if I am taking the perimeters as P1, P2 and so goes on. So P2 means the perimeter of second semicircle. So this would be nothing but is equal to pi r again pi, and the radius for the second circle is nothing but 1.0 centimeter. So this is nothing but 1. Hence this value is nothing but pi. Now let's just talk about P3. P3 means the perimeter of the third semicircle. So this is pi r again. So here the radius would be nothing but 1.5. As you can see, this is my radius 1, this is my radius 2, this is my radius 3. Let us suppose if I'll write it as r1, r2, r3 and so goes on. So this r3 is nothing but 1.5, and we can write 1.5 as 15/10. So this would be nothing but 3/2, means this is nothing but 3 pi/2. So if I'll move on like this, so we have the circles perimeter as P1, P2, P3, P4 and so goes on. If I'll move like this and if I'll substitute the values of all the perimeters in this particular form, then we can see over here that for an instance I'm starting with substituting P1 over here. So we can see over here that if I'll substitute the value of P1 over here, this is nothing but pi/2, this is nothing but pi/2. Then further again we have the value of P2 as nothing but pi, then we have 3 pi/2, and then is so goes on. We have so goes on value. So all these are nothing but forming an arithmetic progression, obviously, and you can see the very first term is nothing but pi/2, and the common difference is pi minus pi/2, which is again is equal to pi/2. So the common difference is pi/2, the first term is pi/2, and hence we have to find out that what is the total length of the spiral, which is made up of 13 consecutive semicircles. So according to the question, we just have to calculate S13 we have to calculate. So let's just find out S13. We know Sn is nothing but n/2, 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Using this formula, let's just plug in n is equal to 13 in this one. So we will get the answer as S13 is equal to 13/2 into 2a. A is nothing but pi/2 plus of 13 minus 1, which is 12, into common difference is nothing but pi/2. This is nothing but pi/2. Now let's just sort it out. 2 and 2 get cancelled. 2 into 6 is 12. So we are getting at the end as S13 is equal to 13/2 into pi plus 6 pi, that is 7 pi, and we are using the value of pi over here as nothing but 22 by 7 because it is already mentioned to us. This is 22 by 7, so 2 and these values are cancelled, 7 and 7 get cancelled with each other, so we are getting at the end 13 into 11, which is nothing but 13 into 11, which is nothing but 143, and hence at the end we are getting S13 as 143, means at the end we are getting the total length of such a spiral, which is made up of 13 consecutive semicircles is nothing but is equal to 143 centimeters. So this is nothing but the answer for this question, and with this question this is nothing but the end of our chapter, which is nothing but an arithmetic progression. I hope all the concepts that is starting from the very first, in which we have discussed about the journal terms, and further we have discussed about the nth term of an arithmetic progression, which is an, which is equal to a plus n minus 1 into d, and further we have talked about the two types of the arithmetic progression, the finite arithmetic progression, the infinite arithmetic progression, and then we have talked about the sum of the n terms of an arithmetic progression, which is Sn is equal to n by 2 to a plus n minus 1 into t, is all clear to you. So using all these formulas you can sort out such kind of the situations that do exist in a real life as well. So I hope all the concepts are all clear to you. Now let's just practice more and more question all by yourself.